Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Jacob, and today I'm going to be talking about what I plan on reading in May. I don't know if you guys caught my end of April book haul. I did kind of talk in there that I was going to be reading maybe some aquatic horror, as I did just get that big compiled edition of Peter Benchley novels. But that has taken a radical turn, and it seems like in May I'm going to be reading a lot of vampire books that I wasn't expecting to read. Mostly because I am trying to really get through some stuff that's been sitting on my shelf for a while. And my current project that I'm working on writing-wise is vampire fiction. So what better way to, kind of come up with new ideas and plot out tropes and stuff than reading some really good vampire fiction. First up is The Soft Whisper of the Dead. I like to kind of mix in smaller novels or novellas and when I'm reading like bigger books. And this is one I've had for a while. And this just seems like, straight up vampire book. We've got like a Dracula looking guy with a cape on the cover. I actually read a Charles L. Grant novel earlier this year. And it was the first Charles L. Grant book I think I'd read. And I'm not going to lie, I really liked his writing style. So I had kind of planned on trying to read more of him this year. Kind of making that a priority in 2023 is to read more authors that, I just haven't really gotten around to yet. And this says, from the shadows of a windswept night comes a dark, elusive stranger, one who stalks the cobblestone streets of Oxrun Station, moving silently from victim to victim, one who haunts the winter-chilled corridors of Squire's Manor, luring the soul of a young beauty to eternal damnation, one who sleeps by day and rises at night to satisfy a strange and evil thirst, the thirst for human blood. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, this just seems fun, like just a straight-up vampire horror novella. I guess, yeah, novella. Definitely not a novel, because it's like 159 words. This is going to be an awesome short read. I'll probably get through this in a couple hours, so I am really looking forward to diving into that. Next up is a book that I've had for a while, and I've talked about getting around to reading. I love the cover, and I just haven't done it yet. So, like I said, I am prioritizing these books. And this is The Empire of Fear. Like I said, if you caught that end of April book haul, you guys know that I'm really digging the whole sword and sail genre, the whole Napoleonic era. And so, yeah, throw some vampires in, and I'm there. And this is England in the 17th century is a land ruled by the undead, an empire upon which the sun never rises. Feared and envied, worshipped and despised, Richard the Lionheart and his aristocracy of vampires rule with terror and darkly seductive promise of life eternal for the lucky few. For centuries it has been thus, but now, even in the very shadow of their vampire master's tyranny, mortal resistance is brewing. Edmund Cordry, member of the Cabal, pledged to penetrate the mysteries of the vampires and destroy them, strikes the first blow, but it will fall to his son Noel to carry on the crusade of human against inhuman, and it will fall to those who come after Noel to keep the struggle alive for over 3 centuries, from England to Malta to modern-day America, where destiny will decide, finally, where the forces of horror or humanity will hold sway over all. So this, definitely reading the description, seems like it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be looking at the cover, but I'm still excited to read it nonetheless, even if it does seem to be more of like a family saga of people fighting vampires. I'm always just up for people fighting vampires. If you've seen some of my earlier videos, my introduction to Stephen King was Salem's Lot, and I have not looked back since. That is always going to be the sweet spot of horror fiction for me. Next up, I have Department 19 by Will Hill. This was actually, I think, in an earlier book haul. I found this in like a free book box or something, and it sounded really good, and it's just been sitting on my shelf, so I definitely want to go ahead and knock this out. And this looks like more like it's young adult. When Jamie Carpenter's mother is kidnapped, he finds himself dragged into Department 19, the government's most secret agency. Fortunately for Jamie, Department 19 can provide the tools he needs to find his mother to kill the vampires who want him dead. But unfortunately for everyone, something older is stirring. Something even Department 19 can't stand up against. Yeah, this seems right up my alley. I mean, this is kind of like maybe military a bit, which is always fun. I like a good military horror. I also like the idea of, highly trained, highly equipped organizations fighting monsters. I'm a fan of the BPPD. the Hellboy series and all that stuff. I enjoy that a whole lot, so I'm hoping that it's kind of like that. Like I said, though, this does kind of seem, just because of the way the book's laid out, that it might be a young adult book, which is fine. It just means I'll read it faster. But either way, I'm excited to read this and, make some shelf space. And the next 3 books I have that I'm going to read this month are not vampire fiction, because I do have to mix it up a little bit. First up is Jack Vance, Etchy and Old Earth. I've taken this book with me on like 3 moves now, and I've been told the Old Earth books are some of the best Jack Vance stuff to read, and I've just been putting it off, so I need to go ahead and do that. And at least finish it if I'm going to move it somewhere else. I don't know, for any of you guys that have had to move a lot of books between houses or apartments, you'll understand my pain. So yeah, I definitely want to read this, review it, give it away, whatever, or, take it with me next time. But at least the next time I move it, I'll know if it's worth it. And this is, the planet Caldwell has an ecosystem unique in the human-explored galaxy. 1,000 years past, it was set aside as a natural preserve, protected by law and covenant against colonization and exploitation. But now the elite conservator culture that has developed on Caldwell is facing a conspiracy of humans and aliens to open the planet and its rich resources to full commercial use. Glewin Clatuk, scion of one of the scientific houses of Caldwell. I know someone's going to hit me in the comments that I just butchered that pronunciation, and I do apologize. I'm sure there's a correct way to pronunciate that. Feel free to share, I guess, in the comments if you know the right way to pronounce that name. I'm not the best with the pronunciation. I do apologize. At least I try to apologize whenever I know I'm butchering a name. But yeah, I know I'm not great at it. Anyway, you must discover who exactly is behind all the sabotage and bring them to interplanetary justice. But Glewin soon discovers that he is investigating his own family. There are ancient crimes to be discovered, as well as the key that will resolve the crisis that threatens Caldwell and its way of life. And then it's got a Ramsey Campbell quote on the back, and I really like Ramsey Campbell. Like I said, I've just been lugging this book around. I need to read it, see what it's all about, see if it lives for the hype. If it doesn't, I just need to read it, is I guess the point I'm trying to make. Then I got John Efferson's Covenant, which has a bookmark in it, which means I started it at one point, and then, knowing me, ended up getting more books, and then starting to read those books. So this is another book that I am going to go ahead and read, and this was a winner of the Bram Stoker Award, and Cemetery Dance says it is a joy to read, and it does have that cool cover of kind of a foggy lighthouse. And it says, to the residents of the sleepy coastal town of Terrell, the cliffs of Terrell's Peak are a deadly place, an evil place where terrible things happen, like a series of mysterious teen suicides over the years, and all on the same date, or other deaths, usually reported as accidents. Could it be a coincidence, or is there more to it? Reporter Joe Kirian is determined to find the truth. Kirian's search will lead him deep into the town's hidden past, a past filled with secrets and horrors, to the ruins of the old lighthouse atop the tragic cliffs. He will uncover rumors and whispered legends, including the legend of the evil entity that lives and waits in the caves below Terrell's Peak. So this sounds fun. This sounds like kind of folk horror-y, maybe a little bit of a haunted house thrown in there. Either way, I'm all for it. Like I said, I've already started it. I didn't obviously get very far, but I already started it, and yeah, this would be a great way to break up kind of between the science fiction and the vampires, but still kind of keeping that horror bent. So I am excited to read this. And then last but not least, I have Gary Gygax's Dangerous Journeys, the Samacran Solution. And I am almost finished with the first book in the series that I picked up. This follows, I think it was another RPG setting that took place in it was called like Egypt, but it's Egypt. It was all based on like, oh yeah, they say it right here, Mythos, which is just Mythos with a U. And I guess it was a different RPG line. I'm not sure exactly what happened to that, if it's still ongoing, if it died out. I don't know, but Gary Gygax wrote some novels in it, and I do enjoy his writing. It's very pulp, sword and sorcery, action adventure. If you ever read his Gord books, then you know what you're in for. The book I'm reading now, which I think is the first or second book in this series, is exactly like that. if you like stuff like Conan, this sort of, you're not going to get super enmeshed plots with multiple red herrings and stuff like that. Usually the bad guys are right in front of you, the good guy fights them. That's kind of what you're in for. I mean, this is just straight up old school pulp fantasy. And this is The Dance of Death. Is sweeping through the palaces and temples of Lower Egypt. And unless the pharaoh's most valued magister, Setni-in-Hetep, can trace his plague of destruction to its source, the Triple Kingdom may be plunged into a magical darkness from which there is no escape. It all begins with the gathering of wizard priests, as Setni stumbles across the trail of a master assassin and follows the killer to the nearby city of On, a place of murder, thievery, and treason. There, Setni discovers an incredible plot to irrevocably split the kingdoms of Egypt, but he can only watch helplessly as one by one the key plotters are destroyed by an unknown magical force. Trying to keep one step ahead of Death's agent, Setni frantically seeks to root out the mastermind behind the scheme. But between him and the answer stands a dark god, who may prove even more powerful than his own god Thoth. Yeah, I enjoyed the book I'm reading currently. This does follow more of a... It's kind of Sherlock Holmesy, I guess, in the fact that they are solving mysteries within this world, but I do really enjoy that. So yeah, I'm excited to start reading this as soon as I finish the first book. And that is everything I plan on reading in May. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to try to do some more videos like this that aren't solely book reviews. And, let me know in the comments below what you guys are planning to read in May. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.